appreciate you all. Thank you all for being part of this thing, and thank you guys for growing this channel as we began to talk a little bit about the Dallas Cowboys and concerns of everybody about this team. Now, I would say this, Cowboy Nation. Let's still take this thing one day at a time, one movement at a time. And just know that football is a long season. It's a long off season as well. We want to be able to know these things right quick. That the Dallas Cowboys should only have what concern? Health. That should be their only concerns right there. It shouldn't be like all of this, who's there, who's not there, and these sorts of things. This story with Ezekiel Elliott, I'm going to talk about the 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 pound or 21,000 pound gorilla that's in the in this room right quick, is the Ezekiel Elliott. Things are like this, Cowboys. We look at, and the media too, the media looks at this thing as if the Cowboys is the only NFL team out there. There's already reports of Phillip Rivers saying that, hey, Melvin Gordon holding out. We're deep at running backs anyway. If he's not here, so what? Be with him, you know. And Dak Prescott don't talk like that. And Phillip Rivers haven't proven anything in his long career. He haven't proven anything, but that's a story of a different day. And nobody can say that Phillip Rivers never had a team around him, right? Phillip Rivers has always been blessed with some type of somebody around him. Shout out to you, Mike VA. Shout out to you, J Rock and Tom Jasper. Nate Brown, appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in. So we look at everything as a whole complete picture. This is Ezekiel Elliott. You guys remember when Aaron Donald held out, right? You guys remember when Khalil Mack, well, of course, we know Khalil Mack got traded, what have you, and got multiple draft picks for them or what have you, for whatever the situation were. But in my opinion, this is Mike VA. He said, should Ezekiel Elliott hold out or what have you? I don't think he should. You signed a contract. You said that you'd be willing to play for this particular contract. You got 2 years left on your contract. Now, Ezekiel Elliott, is he going to hold out? We don't know until August the 6th. Now, James Slater just reported that the team and some of the people are shocked and appalled that Ezekiel Elliott is not there. Now, I can say that we've been having 100% all this offseason, all through OTAs and all through the rookie volunteer work and the involuntary working and these sorts of things. But my thing is this right here, Cowboy Nation, is all it takes is one little hiccup, and you guys see how this thing can just continue to slide around. The media already had their narrative. Because you can't really talk about anything else that's on this team, right? Everything else looks great. Even if you talk about the wide receivers, I've been saying all offseason that when you look at this wide receiver play, you look at what? More so of this team developing together. More so of, we said all last year and parts of this year, is that, hey, Dak Prescott is going to be better because now you have Amari Cooper that's going to be able to do the workout conditionings. And then on top of that, you have the Randall Cobb, who's now working out with the Dallas Cowboys and understanding, okay, I need to pick up this offense. I need to pick up the things that they want us to do. So you see those little small things. You see those little small things growing and developing with this team collectively. But then again, you can also talk about, hey, Michael Gallup, the growth aspect of it. The John Bayer Johnson, the Guyton's kids. You hear all of that stuff, man. Curtis, I'm doing good, man. Really appreciate you. David J. Looks what happening to the Steelers last year. Yeah, the Le'Veon Bell situation. Le'Veon Bell lost $50 million, and then he went to a less impressive team. There's two types of arguments that I hear. The one argument would be, okay, are you sold on winning the Super Bowl? The second argument would be, are you sold on fattening your pockets? And you can throw in a third argument, what is this? This is about you or this is about the team? And then I know I'm going to hear a lot of people say, hey, Cowboy Nation, hey, Law, what would you do? Let me see. I'm listening to all the news and got 105.3 The Fan. Shout out to the Cowboys. You guys know how this thing go. I will be there tomorrow. Yeah. Let me see what they're talking about now. Oh, they're talking about James Slater. All those people here. Hey, James Williams said he's more worried about Randy Gregory. Rightfully so. Is this going to be another Le'Veon Bell situation? Believe it or not, Le'Veon Bell had a hiccup with some drug problems or what have you. Was suspended for 1 game or 2 games or something like that, and then he didn't really have anything else outside of that. It was Le'Veon Bell and what was the other guy? LeGarrette Blount. They got caught with some blunts or what have you. And then Le'Veon Bell, ever since then, was kind of like hush hush. Who did Alan Hearn sign with? He signed with the Miami? Too much drama, David J. That's the Cowboys' way. You got to have some drama, man. Yeah. Sign deal with Dak, Zeke, Cooper, or see y'all later, man. My thing is they will sign a deal, man. The deal is going to be signed. It's always something.
We can't be happy with just making the playoffs.
Let me see what they're talking about.
It can happen in a playoff game, but if this team isn't, when we get close to the end of the season, considered a true contender.
Almost finished with my day job, man.
I know. You can't just make the playoffs.
Y'all like my little office? Y'all like my little
You have to
suite
have
over
one
here?
of the 2 best records in the NFC/AFC to really
Zeke
have a
has
chance.
outperformed his contract.
With the freaking Eagles, we've been going over them.
You know what? If I'm
they look like they could be great too. So
if I'm a contract writer, I would figure out a way to have a holdout clause on there. If you hold out, you lose a certain amount of money. That's what I would do. They need to craft these contracts a little bit better. Teams are trying to figure these things out, try to hold out. Tom Jasper Jr. says, are you going to Mark Holmes' tailgate party? I don't think, if it's not in Dallas, I ain't going to it. Yeah. If it's not in Dallas, I ain't going to it. Owners making billions, Nate Brown. The only way the players can get, let me turn my radio down so I can answer this guy's remark, Nate Brown remark. The only way that players and the owners can circumvent this, owners make billions and players don't, is they get rid of the salary cap. Because although the owners make billions, that revenue is not shared equally to all of the players because of the salary cap. The salary cap put owners in a box and it put players into an even smaller box. Now what happened here is that teams that have a lot of money in their salary cap, they set the market, meaning that they overset the market with a Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack, $141 million, that reset the entire market for edge rushers or outside linebackers in the 3-4 system. So to me, the system is broken because of the salary cap, because you have teams that all of a sudden have one of these big, massive salaries that's open available to them. They go out and sign these multiple players. And then you will have a team that, quote unquote, that's been doing the right thing through drafting and things of that nature, just like my Dallas Cowboys or our Dallas Cowboys. We've been doing it the right way by drafting. And then what happened here is that when it's time to pay the guys are looking out saying, hey, this Khalil Mack just got $141 million. My numbers are comparable. What's up, Jerry? Reach into your pocket, Jerry. But Jerry still got that salary cap. My thing is, and I made this analogy before, it's kind of sort of like this right here, Cowboy Nation. We all know that Chick-fil-A gives you ultimate customer services. You know, it don't matter what time of day outside of Sunday they're not open. It don't matter what time of day you go to Chick-fil-A, they're gonna be nice, they're gonna be upfront with you, you're gonna ask for condiments, they can ask for anything that you want, and they're gonna give you the utmost respect, especially as it relates to customer service. But what the salary cap does is that it says that, okay, Chick-fil-A, you're gonna have to spread that revenue, you're gonna have to share your revenue to all of the other industries out there. And you have the Indies of the world, the Wendy's, and you have the McDonald's, you have Burger King, who may not do it the way Chick-fil-A does it. The Sonic, shout out to Ocean Water. So what happened here is that you get these type of things with the Dallas Cowboys organization. You get Jerry Jones spending billions of dollars to have workout facility. You get Jerry Jones who can find commercial deals for your players, the star, the brand, the logo, all these things account for. The jerseys. Now, I do like the fact that the players do get some revenue split on the jerseys that are sold, but, it's just not the same because all of the marketing and all of the things that you guys love to see with the Dallas Cowboys, the silver and blue, the Browns get a piece of that. The Jets get a piece of that. The Saints get a piece of that. The Vikings get a piece of that. So that's why I don't like the ideology of, hey, salary cap, and the salary cap's supposed to be there so it won't be one team that continue or consistently making the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowls. But the Patriots dispel or displace that myth. You left out Whataburger, shaking my head. Shout out to Whataburger. Oh, man. Yes. Whataburger is 100% legit. I wouldn't mind Whataburger and Chick-fil-A working out with each other, They both give good customer services. And shout out to Whataburger, man. But you guys get what I'm trying to lament, right? So that's why we are in this pickle when it gets time to pay players. I think that Jerry Jones will reach into his pocket. My thing is, if everybody's billionaires, that should be enough money to say, okay, we're going to take away the salary cap and whatever the players demand and whatever they want, we'll go out there and get it because now we're putting our money where our mouth at. And then that's how you can truly evaluate your team because then there will be teams that you actually went out and paid for. Not saying that you got to go out there and buy the Super Bowl because that's not saying that just because you get the biggest and the best players out there that's the only way you can win, because we just talked about the fact that the Patriots been winning for several years now, for several times, 6 Super Bowls since the salary cap era. Law, do you think that Ezekiel Elliott deserves Todd Gurley's money? My thing is, did Todd Gurley deserve Todd Gurley's money? That's the conundrum. Did Todd Gurley deserve Todd Gurley's money? That is the conundrum. That's the $60 million questioning, or that's the $40 million, whatever he got paid. My thing is the market has increased since Todd Gurley got his money, or bag, or paper. And my thing is too, if you look at it collectively, if we add in 18 weeks opposed to the 16-week scheduled season, regular scheduled season, then it won't be no ill will if you pay Ezekiel Elliott $15 million. There's ways. There's go to Mike Fisher from 105.3, the fan Twitter page, and he broke down how you can get Ezekiel at $60 million. Zeke should be paid more than Gurley. See, David putting it out there. Try Farmers, bro. Try Farmer boys. They're better than Whataburgers. Southern California. I'm gonna try them out. Farmers. I'm glad you didn't say In-N-Out Burger, man. They so overrated. Zeke show up yet? Joe Thomas, no, he have not shown up. But he got a deadline. He got to show up before August the 6th. But even if he do show up, do you really want him to run around? Is it more of a PR? You just want to show up for PR, right? Is he really going to do some runarounds? You really want to see him running at his top speed? You really want to see somebody come over the middle and hit him, those type of things? Do you really want to see him really working out? Let me know. Post that down below if you really want Ezekiel Elliott to be out there. Is it just more than just kicking it? Michael Campbell says, shout out to the Campbells, man. He says, win the NFC conference. Yeah, that should be their number one goal for this year. The Jones need to figure it out. This is from Sheila Neal. Hey, Sheila. Do you think Jeff Heath will lose his job during his offseason? I don't think that Philip... I meant to say Jeff Heath. I'm about to say Philip Rivers. I don't think that Jeff Heath is going to lose his job. I think that from a knowledge aspect, that Jeff Heath may know the most out of the defensive back that's going to play safety. That's just the reality of it. Georgia local will still be trying to pick up this defense, and it's not a difficult to cover It's not a difficult scheme to pick up, but continuity is everything. And just think about this. Just open our minds up. Let's think outside the box. That was Jeff Heath last year was his first year within the system of Chris Richard, him playing a little closer to the LOS. Remember, I'm on record saying that Jeff Heath is a better free safety than he is a strong guy that's in the box guy. Now, my thing is the guy that we need to look out for is number 35. Will he make this team? That's Kayvon Frazier. I like the Donovan Wilson kid. He's showing us a lot of promises out there. So you got to really put in your mind, number 35. That would be the guy that you really have to take a look at, Cowboy Nation. And then, George Aloka versus 35, And there's only a limited amount of snaps that you're going to get playing inside that box like that, right? Because we play so much nickel that we might want to get the guy that's going to be a little bit more rangy, So that's just how it goes. Antoine says sign Zeke. That's what the most concerns that we should just go ahead and sign Ezekiel. Question aloud. Please explain Dak Prescott numbers when Zeke was out. 6 games, $35 million. Let's go. This is from who is this? Uncle Drew. Uncle Drew, what's good? He says, shout out to Drew, man. I forgot to bring up those stats, man, for you guys. I don't have time to look them up. But I think that Dak Prescott passed a little bit better when Ezekiel Elliott was not into the fray, right? I could be wrong. But although the win-loss record, I don't know if it's a below 500 record, but he did okay. He did a serviceable job. And my thing is teams play Dak Prescott differently when Ezekiel Elliott is not out there on the field, meaning that they look at it like, we don't even have to load up 7 and 8 men in the box now. We can just play a little bit of zone defense, and then they get shredded. Dak Prescott is good against the zone defense. And shout out to my guy Voch Lombardi on the deep passes, man. He posted a video earlier this morning. It's already up to like 5,000 views, man. Check it out, man. He's talking about the real deal, facts versus opinions. Pretty much people will still look at the truth and say to themselves, man, he don't know what he's talking about. But in reality, quarterbacks on deep passes and things like that is all predicated upon if you do it, This is a run-first team. I think that when teams look at the Dallas Cowboys without any Ezekiel Elliott, they don't even know how to play against us because they're sitting there saying to us, like, are we going to still do the heavy run, or are we going to pass more, or what are we going to do? So those are things that we have to really think about, Cowboy Nation. I don't know, Tom. I'm just talking to you guys, man. Tom, if you got to bounce, man, let me know, man. Let me see.
That we have with our camps and things like that. So that's a challenge. But I will tell you this, as we sit here today, every player on our 80-man roster is signed. They're all signed. We've got a contract with everybody. So that's good, and that's a lot of work. And I want to thank Steve for his work and brilliance in having everybody under contract here with us today. So, or under contract. But with all kidding aside, this is an exciting time for this organization, exciting times for the Dallas Cowboys. We'll get a lot of work done out here.
Let me know if y'all can hear this, man. Let me know.
That's why we're here at this place, California. The 40 years we've been out here unquestionably is conducive to getting the most work done with the right kind of atmosphere. I want to particularly tell Oxnard, I want to tell this community, I want to tell the fans that really are generational here. I I want to tell them how much that it makes this training camp something that not only tangibly is good for us, but it also perception-wise around the country. I like what this says about the Dallas Cowboys to be here at Oxnard in California with our training camp. So with no further ado, Rich, I think we'll throw it open to questions.
Absolutely.
And then you just ask away.
Jerry and Steven, we'll kind of circle back on your expectations for the season a little bit, but at what point do you consider Ezekiel Elliott late, and what is your stance on his absence?
He is not, he's late.
He's late.
We have officially reported, and so he's a non-report officially, and all of the mechanisms that are in place with your collective bargaining agreements, structurally under the contract, everything is in place and addressed if you're not where you're contracted to be. So he's late. Excuse me?
Does that mean that you guys will be fining Ezekiel Elliott for not being here today?
It provides for that.
Wow.
Does that mean that you
Jerry.
guys will?
Again, it certainly provides for that, and I've not ever made it a practice of getting into the details of how we execute our agreements or how we operate within our agreements. But his agreement provides for fines, and it's certainly doable under the CBA.
Well, last time have you had conversation with him, and did he tell you he was holding out over his contract?
Again, I'm not going to get into, from my perspective, you can ask each and every one of us that here.
He can't never be drama
about
free.
when we've had conversation with him, but
Shout out to you, Buck. We
I'm not
appreciate
going to
it.
get into any conversation at all. We will not be making updates. It's certainly appropriate that you're asking about it here at our opening press conference, and he's not here. But the last thing we want to get into is a daily update on contracts. Everybody's under contract. It's a part of what goes on in football. Football is business. It's pro football. And so it is business, and you are where you are on every contract. Every contract we have an agreement on. Every contract we have an agreement. And so that if there's any changes in those agreements, or if there's anything different, you never know what that's going to be until both parties have done it. So updates, where you are, where you stand, how close you are, all of that isn't necessary. So I do want to make the point, we will not be giving updates on any of our contractual status of our players.
Do you expect him here?
We expect everybody that's under contract to be here at camp. They've agreed to be here.
Jerry Jones hot, man.
Is it fair to say, or I'll ask you, are you disappointed at all that he's not here?
Again, I'm so excited about
Y'all
this
leave
team,
Jerry
and
alone,
I'm
man.
so excited about the players that we, including him, that we have under contract. And I've got excited about the work we got done in our OTAs and our mini camps. I'm so excited about how we drafted. And so this is not in any way diminish the excitement I have about this team. And this is very similar to, you say, well, does it occur to you that you might not have a player if they're a holdout in camp? Yes, I understand our game. It occurs to me we may not have a player over an injury. As a matter of fact, we prepare for that.
Knock on wood, Cowboy Nation.
Not have a player over a suspension. We know that. We prepare for that. And so all of this is just a part of playing football professionally in the NFL.
Sure.
Jason, what are your comments about Elliott's absence?
Yeah, we expect all our players to be here. Obviously, Zeke is not here. Zeke's been a really good player for us. Over the last 3 years, very impactful guy. He had a great offseason for us. There's a business of the NFL that happens. Our focus as a coaching staff, as an organization, is on the guys who are here. It's really as simple as that.
Jason, it's about Elliott's absence.
That's so PC.
Yeah, we expect all our players to be here. Obviously, Zeke is not here. Zeke's been a really good player for us. Over the last 3 years, very impactful guy. He had a great offseason for us. There's a business of the NFL that happens. Our focus as a coaching staff, as an organization, is on the guys who are here. It's really as simple as that.
Jason, you addressed it.
Yeah, I think when you've done this as long as we've done it, I mean, none of this is, there's no surprises. We've been doing this for 30 years, and so it's a part of the game.
Long time.
The great news is, the organization from Will to Jason to Jerry to our scouting staff, our coach, have done a great job of assembling a lot of young players, and with that comes expectations from the players, from the agents, and it's part of it. And we're certainly going to work through it. I think Jerry's really addressed everything there is to address about Zeke, and we're just going to go to work and do what we do in terms of continuing to work to keep this team together. I just think we've had a really good young football team, and there are some challenges out there. These guys, and as they should, it's business to them as well. It's their livelihood. They work hard at what they do, and certainly respect that. But it's going to do no good to address this situation every day. Certainly we'll be working on it behind the scenes, and we feel optimistic that when we're all said and done here, things usually work themselves out. Working on it behind the scenes, have you had any discussions with his agents on a new contract?
Yes.
He ain't gonna talk contract though.
Jason, will you address the team about Zeke at all when you meet with them this afternoon?
Again, we're focused on what we need to do. Most of our players came in on the flight last night. Some of the players reported this morning. They did the weigh-in. They did their physicals. We did the conditioning run at 10 a.m. 2 o'clock team meeting. We're focused on the guys who are here. Again, Zeke's been a great player. He's been a great teammate, and we respect him. But we're not going to get into the business of football. We're going to get into what we need to do each and every day to play our best and to coach our best.
Do you always focus on each individual case, or in something like this where a player has 2 years left on a contract, is there a precedent to be concerned with going forward as far as how you address this?
Did you ask me?
Both of you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll answer this way. Anytime you look at a player, that usually means you're going to look at many players.
True.
Because you've got to put it in perspective of the entire available dollars to pay the team. And I'd say there are very few conversations that Stephen and I have, but what at some point in that conversation, we're not discussing player, its impact on other players relative to the cap and financial. It's almost like getting up and turning the lights on. It's such an everyday concurrence. There's no, that you live with this all the time. And so that when you don't have the player on the field for whatever reason, then you would be discussing, that's why we put that in place. That's why we have that in place. What are the repercussions there? It is not alarming that you have to get up or go to bed thinking about some aspect of it when you're dealing with the numbers of contracts that you are. So that's why I don't want to seem cavalier. Zeke is an outstanding player.
Yeah.
I don't want to seem cavalier about it, but I also don't want to be unrealistic being alarmed about it. This is what we do. This is the air we breathe. And if you flared and knee-jerked or went just because you have parts of it that need addressing, you wouldn't be a good manager and you wouldn't be functioning. So I just want to put it in perspective, notwithstanding what is important to you, that our fans have a feel for the consequences and what this is about, Zeke not being here. I want to say to you, this is business as usual.
Y'all write notes. Y'all write these notes down.
It's obviously a time where we've done many contracts. And look at our offensive line. Most of that group was done during camp. This is just that time of year where, we get things done. The great news is we're all here together. The players are here. The agents work for the players. And, Jerry's here and I'm here and Jason's here. Will's here. It's a great time to, have discussion. And, our goal has been all along, in addition to DeMarcus Lawrence, was to work on the 3 contracts that we've been talking about. So this shouldn't be any surprise, obviously. With one of them not being here, wasn't necessarily expected, but we'll move forward and work on it, and optimistic that we can make all this come together. As I said, it usually works out. We'll see if that's the case this year.
Wait to training camp to get some of these deals done, Stephen?
I think at the end of the day you have, and we didn't wait till on DeMarcus Lawrence, but you have to have 2 people to make a deal. I mean, you can't push one side forward, and some people want to see some of these contracts play out, and it's just part of it. They want to see what happens to the overall receiver market. They want to see what happens to the quarterback market. And, some representatives want to move faster than others. And some want to wait and, be sure before they pull the trigger how they're going to advise their forward. And they have enough information and they feel good about it. And we feel good about it and we get it done. But, it just so happens I do think most people want all this to be done before the season starts. I think that's a natural deadline, and I think that's why you're seeing some deals get done right now. I think you'll see more deals get done over the coming weeks, and it's just a natural inertia there that goes on in terms of the urgency to get these things done.
They said, do you consider this a distraction?
No, I think our guys are professionals. I think our coaching staff, as Jerry said, led by Jason, do a great job of keeping the focus on the players that are here. And hats off to the guys who are obviously got their mind a little bit on their business off the field, but I think they're pros, and they're going to go out there and get their jobs done. And I think this is just part of what we're involved in the NFL. Over time, it used to be rookies, and then it used to be, before you had holdouts, be players without contracts, but they couldn't go anywhere else but the team they were on. Back before free agency. So, these things have evolved over time. As Jerry said, we've been doing this for 30 years and nothing comes as a surprise. And we certainly feel prepared to address it and to handle it in a good way. I know Jason feels good about it, and we're just going to go to work and see what we can get done here.
Same lines. I understand the thought process of moving forward with the guys you have, but we're going to continue to ask them about this. So are there any safeguards that you will put in place to make sure it doesn't become a distraction?
Yeah, I think the big thing that we try to emphasize as a coaching staff to our team is that anytime a player isn't available for whatever reason, it's a business situation, it's an injury, it's a great opportunity for somebody else to show what they can do. And we've had great examples through the years of guys emerge in situations and they get more reps and they grow as a player and we grow as a team. And I think if you look at our team last year, we grew a lot. We had a really young football team. I think arguably the youngest in the NFL at the start of the year. And you saw that team grow over time by just getting snaps and playing. And guys who had never played before, they grew week after week after week. So we always view this as an opportunity. When someone's not there, step up, next man up, let's see what you got. And it's a great opportunity for us as coaches to evaluate that player, see if he can hold up, see if we need to go get somebody else. It's a great opportunity for the player to prove himself.
True. With Zeke, is any of this related to the value of the running back position and where you guys see it?
Absolutely. I think everything's involved in a negotiation, whether it's the value of a position, whether it's a player's age, whether it's his health, whatever it may be. It's a full body of work at the end of the day, and you put all that together. Jerry said it. We're talking about these things all the time and talking about what their longevity is, how long do we think they can play, whether it's any position on this football team. So all the things go into the mix when you're trying to not only put together a team for this year, but long term. We have to look at that in terms of, what the salary cap is this year, what's it going to be next year, what's it going to be in the future, and, what's our team going to look like as we move forward. It's certainly not where you want your coaches focused right now. We want them focused on trying to win a championship this year. But certainly it's something that we have to do, in personnel and cap, in terms of looking at the future. But all that comes into play.
All I want to know
certainly
is
a part of it.
who is advising Ezekiel Elliott?
One of those rare players that doesn't show much of a drop-off, even having missed practice or playing time. But given that you guys have this new offense with Kellen Moore and John Kitna, is it important that you guys get him here sooner rather than later, given that you're installing sort of this
What is that
new
noise?
system?
They got something going on over there.
Yeah, Zeke had a great offseason. So much of what we'll do at training camp we introduced in the offseason. He's one of the smartest players we have. He's just got an unbelievable football IQ, so we don't anticipate any learning issues for him, once he gets back in the fold.
How does Michael Thomas holding out from New Orleans? Does that mean anything to you guys with Amari Cooper in terms of a sense of
Nothing to do with it.
For me, no.
There you go.
But if you ask Amari, you ask his representatives, you'd have to ask them if that's important to them. I think obviously, some guys do want to see the full market play out before they make a decision. Could that be one of the reasons that they're, not necessarily a lot of urgency to get the deal done yet? It very well could be. But for me, no. We could do the deal tomorrow, and we'd feel comfortable doing something. But you'd have to ask Amari and his agents how much, that's playing into their timing.
And out to you guys, he's going to be a long-term Cowboy.
Amari? I think we'll get something done with Amari for sure.
Frustrate you a little bit knowing that you want to get a deal done, but the other side is waiting on somebody else to get a deal done when hey, we're ready to get this going.
And what was the first part of that question?
Does it frustrate you in any ways, though?
No, I think all these things work themselves out. I know certainly you'd like to have everything all in a nice, neat package wrapped up in a nice, neat bow and be done with it. But, that's just part of it. As we said, it's like player acquisition. It's 365 days a year. The business of pro football is the same thing. And certainly just because we're, at some point if we get done with these three players, then I can promise you the focus is going to go on to other great young football players we have on this football team. And I'm sure, they're sitting in their room thinking about when's my time going to come. And certainly they deserve to have those thoughts. So, this is just ongoing. And it's certainly not anything that's frustrating to us. We just know we have to be patient and we have to do things the right way. I mean, we just can't overstep here because it's just been a lot of work has gone into really putting this young team together. And if you go out and you're not efficient in how you go about it, and it's certainly, one thing I do agree with, Marcus Lawrence told me point blank, it's not my problem, the rest of the guys. And he's right, but it is my problem. It is Jerry's problem. It is Jason's problem. It is Will's problem. And so we have to factor that in. And certainly I don't expect Dak to be laying awake at night worrying about the cap. Neither do Amari, nor Zeke, nor any of our other players. That's our job, but it still factors into it.
Where are solid negotiations on Dak Prescott's contract, and do you see that as the first step in business at training camp?
No, I think, unfortunately, that's just not something we can answer. Contracts get done when they get done. For me to characterize as we're a week out or 2 weeks out or a day out's irresponsible. I mean, those things are just, they have their own life. That's why we're going to address this today, and then we're going to be done with it, because until one's done, it's not done. And it's not going to do any good for us to say, well, we talked for an hour yesterday, or we hadn't talked in 2 weeks, or I don't think any of that's productive. And said, here we are, first day of camp. We're going to address this right now, and then we're going to be done with it until these contracts get done.
How would you describe your goals on that deal?
On which one?
On Dak's deal. What are your goals with that deal?
I just, you'd love to get a deal done that he's happy with, that the team can work with, to surround him with great players on offense and to have a great defense and special teams. If we can get all that done, then we've done well. And, who's to say exactly what that number is today, or the length, or what plays into that, but that would be the goal.
How does the Wentz deal affect Dak? Them getting it done, did that impact at all?
I think all these things impact each other. There's no question. I mean, they were drafted in the same class, same age. They've had success, both of them. And, certainly when deals get done at those levels, then, they affect one another. So it's just part of our business.
Where it doesn't, I'm going to add something here. Where it doesn't affect what somebody else do, another team does, at a player, at a position, that's good reading. That's good reading. And I understand for those individuals involved how they compare to that. But the Dallas Cowboys have a litany of contracts. And those contracts have been made predicated on the terms of other contracts, not in New Orleans or not in Cleveland, but based on the Dallas Cowboys.
Uncle Jerry.
And so we have arduously spent money, time, planning relative to the relationship of those contracts together. Just because somebody in their contractual situation decides that they want to do different than their contract, just because that doesn't mean that you tear up everything that you got over here with the team, even though somebody else may have done something different with another team. What rules today is your list, and what rules today are your economics. That rules the day. Now that's real. And so that's what you're sitting there protecting, is the integrity of how all of that works together.
True.
And that's why that if everybody at one time said, you know something, let's just all go up and see Jerry, and he's got all this money, and let's get all that money. Let's go do this at the same time. I'm just saying, that's not the way it works.
You don't have all that money?
That's the way it works. I don't have as much money as this group right here got your heads together would want. If you could just put it down, I promise you that. But seriously. And that's what you're looking at. And so you say, well, where are you with other players that are involved here? We've got a good idea, and brother, we are pretty good at it, of where you're going to be projecting down the way. One thing we know how to do is figure.
Talk to them.
We can't anticipate what the cap's going to be and what the revenues are going to be and what's going to be available. Now, we can do that. Mm-hmm. You could do it if you had all the information to get her done as well. Just because it's different, just because there's a time like come to camp when you want to do it differently, it's still got to conform. Or we can't do that and have the team that we have. The other thing I'd like to add is that one of the best things about coaches, one of their best redeeming qualities of their entire profession, is they really do have to believe in next man up. Okay. They have to believe in that, because they coach a game, especially football, that has attrition. And they coach a game that has attrition in talent, and it has attrition with energy, and it has attrition with all kinds of, these are human beings. They have all kinds of personal things. Pro football has its litany of those things to go.
True.
But these guys don't have a breakdown and go in some kind of mental asylum when the guy that they thought was going to be there is not there. They're not built like that. And so they do go on, and they mean it. And they really do mean it. And that's the way they get up and go to bed. And so having said that, we've got the right game to have a disciplined, but to have a plan of how to put the team on the field with all this young talent. And we just got to make sure that these contracts you're talking about fit that plan.
What do you need to see from Jason to bring him back in 2020?
Wait a minute. Oh!
What did you say? I really didn't hear you.
What do you need to see from Jason to
wow.
bring him back in 2020 as your head coach?
I really didn't hear you.
Say it again. Jerry, man. Jerry Jones crazy.
Players up. One position you needed that last year was at center. How heartening is it to see where Travis Frederick is, and what are y'all's expectations for him at training camp?
Well, I'm certainly excited about the way he feels about where he is. We're certainly in really elementary medical area. You're not talking to a person to give you an assessment there as far as how he is medically. But I will tell you this, sitting here this time last year, I had no idea what we were facing regarding Frederick. None of us did. And I would hope that was as isolated as the very syndrome that he has.
Hey, man, who gave him that question? Who answered him that question,
so,
man?
I'm basing my personal thinking, hope, want to's, that he's going to be able to come out here and be right where we were this time last year, thinking he's going to have a heck of a year. And everything I'm hearing supports that.
He was talking earlier about you work to try to put a championship team together to win that. This team has won the division and advanced to the second round twice in the last 3 years. Young nucleus, both sides of the ball. Is it realistic to expect in your mind that you take a step forward this season, that the basis is built and you need to get further? Or how do you view overall this season?
I expect us to be a better team. And think that our personnel supports that. The experience gained, as Jason mentioned earlier, supports that. I am real impressed with the staff that Jason has put together here. So I expect us to be better, and as a part of that should result in maybe advancing our record, or if you will, our place in the playoff. It should result in that. That's the assumption you make, that if you're a better team and you've put together a sound one, they can stay healthy, then you should be able to do better than you did last year. And you did ask a question, and that's right. And all of that is what I would call success. There's no secret that the guy to my right here, I want to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys for as long as I'm around to spell it. That would be my goal. And that's no secret, and many of you have written about it in various ways. So let's see what's ahead.
What would it take for that to be the goal, Jerry?
Again, I'm not going to get succinct because I really can't tell you that I know about what feeling good about this team is. I've had some times when you didn't feel good about the team, that I felt good about the team. And so, that's the eye of the beholder there as well, and that will be ultimately how it's decided.
Jason, y'all did physicals this morning. What is your PUP look like heading into first practice?
Yeah, Byron Jones will be on PUP, DeMarcus Lawrence on PUP, Tyrone Crawford, and Noah Brown. Those guys will start on that, and each of them has a different timetable for coming back, but suffice it to say, they'll just keep working, and we'll do everything we can to get them back into it.
Two-part question, Jason. Who were the off-season conditioning winners, and who are we going to be dodging in the parking lot around the golf carts?
That has not been determined yet, and there's a tremendous amount of anticipation for that. It typically happens here the first 48 hours in training camp, and the guys who think they are contenders are excited about the possibility of having that golf cart. So you'll be the first to know after our team does.
If this team doesn't have Zeke, what changes offensively for you guys?
Yeah, again, you go to work. We have two good young running backs who we drafted. We're excited to see. We have a couple veteran guys who haven't played that much who we're excited to see, and we'll just give those guys opportunities. Obviously, Zeke has been a really impactful player for us. We certainly want him here, but I really do believe this. The next man up philosophy really just helps you. It helps the individual player, and it helps the team grow and get better. So we'll try to take advantage of this time. If any of our players are out with injury or otherwise, to help give other guys an opportunity. I think ultimately we'll grow as a team as a result.
Good answer, though. Good answer. Stand with you. Good answer.
Been around football a long time. I thought what he did last year in transitioning to a new team in the middle of the season, the production he had, I thought was remarkable. And I think it goes to the kind of guy he is. He loves football, works very hard at it. He's a very smart guy, a really high football IQ, and he's just a damn good player. He's talented, and he can do a lot of different things, and he wants to be great. He wants to work hard. And, if you think about a guy showing up in the middle of the season, then the rapport that he and Dak developed in really a short period of time, and the productivity he had for us, it was really off the charts. It made a huge impact on our team. For those guys to get a chance to work in the offseason, now work here in training camp, we're just really excited about that possibility for those guys to grow together.
You know how many, off the top of your head, how many players you have not on PUP who you'll be holding out of team drills for the first several days?
There are a couple of young guys. Connor McGovern is not going to be on PUP, but he's still coming back from that pec injury, and he's going to ease back into it. Valuable for him to get some of the walkthrough reps as he's working his way back into practice. I think there are a handful of other guys who are going to be in that same kind of a situation, and we have to be deliberate. getting guys back into playing real live football. Our training staff does a great job getting these guys back. They've all worked hard. So as much as anything else, you've heard me say this before, you got to look at them day by day. You have a prescribed workload. How do they handle it? Okay, now we decide what we're going to do the next day. So we'll just take it as it goes.
Do y'all expect Randy Gregory to play in a game for the Cowboys this year?
I'll answer that one. Visited with Randy yesterday. Had a good visit with him. And I would hope, I want to be guarded in my comments here because Randy is suspended. But I do feel that he's doing the things and it's getting recognized by the decision makers that he's doing things to really improve and be a productive player in the NFL. And I think that will not go unnoticed and could have it happen for him. I last year thought that Randy, that we all made about a C+ there with Randy. And I say that because if we could get this thing right with him, get him right with the rules, get him right with the league, all of that, then he's got a bright future. And he's as hard as he's working, as conscientious as he is, I think he's got a chance to come in and make a big contribution for us.
Officially apply for reinstatement, and when, if not, when do you expect that to happen?
I don't know that as to when it will be. But I think that he will apply for reinstatement. And as in medicine, everybody's case is very unique. I think that that's being recognized in Randy's case, and that's a step forward, not just by Randy, but by the people that are caring or evaluating him. And we've seen enough out of him as a person and as a ball player to want him on the Dallas Cowboys for us into the future.
There are so many people on this team, from coaches to players, that have just wrapped their arms around Randy Gregory and supported him through all this. Specifically, what is it about him that's led to you giving such public support of him, both privately and publicly?
Yeah, Randy is particularly impressive with his intellect and his people skills. And that combination, apart from him being a great athlete, but that combination of people skills and just his ability to use them is very good. I think that can help him be a better anything that he wants to be. Anything, including a pressure player on defense in the NFL. And so that comes across. When you're around him, it comes across from every discipline that touches him. They come away and say, now that guy's got some special aspects to it. So that to me, that's worth spending some time and investing some of your what you're about as a franchise, the Cowboys, me individually. That's worth investing in.
As a former quarterback and the head coach, can you give me your opinion of where Dak Prescott, fighting with Jamil Showers as a backup, to now being the guy that's leading
I put
the
that
team
do
to
not disturb on. People still call him.
Yeah, I just think Dak is off to a remarkable start in his career. I think his 3-year win total coming out of college ranks up there with among the best in NFL history. And, you talk about leadership, that's probably line one with Dak, just the kind of guy he is, the kind of leader he is. And if you reflect back to his rookie year in 2016, Tony Romo's our quarterback, an outstanding player for us. Dak was brought in here to compete as a backup player and possibly be someone who could be the future of our franchise. And the way he stepped in that year under those circumstances and led our football team, to me, was remarkable. I don't think that's happened very much in the history of the NFL, the kind of performance he had and the impact he had on the team. And I would attribute a lot of that to his ability. He's a damn good football player, but I think a lot of it has to do with the leadership that he has and how he can connect with people and how he can get people around him to play for him, and they want to play for him. And I think he's gotten better and better each year that he's played for us. It hasn't always gone smoothly for him. He's had some real successes. He had some adversities, but I think it goes back to what he's all about. He responds the right way to every situation. He's played big in every big moment. He's played big in big games. He's always played his best at the critical moments, and that's just what he's all about. And I think if you reflect back on his career at Mississippi State and before that, that's what he's been about all his life. We're lucky to have him.
Jerry, any comment on how the NFL handled the Tyreek Hill situation in light of Zeke's situation in the past?
No comment.
I'll start. I don't have one.
No comment.
No comment.
Thank you very much.
That's one way to shut it down, huh?
And thank you to Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, Jason Garrett, and the assembled media for the question and answer session. Covered a lot of ground here over the last 45 minutes in the Cowboys State of the Team address. The Ben and Skin show getting set to come up. So many good stuff in there. Talking about the Cowboys economics rule the day, not other teams and not other player values. Jerry acknowledging Zeke's decision to not be here does open up the possibility of suspending him, but did not go beyond that as far as whether the team will or not. It just becomes an option. Yes,
fining him, not suspending him.
Gavin, what are you trying to do to this team?
That would be quite a storyline.
Shout out to Gavin.
Jeff jumped in there and asked him about Amari Cooper, and he assured that, I think we'll get something done with Amari for sure. So I believe we got to scram.
Yeah,
I believe we really need to.
We got to go. Ben and Skin can handle this.
Thanks to Lucius Alexander back home there at Master Control.
Man, that was a good deal there. My key points, whoever asked Jerry Jones what it would take for you to re-sign Jason Garrett, man, that was like, hey, the flat out, I'm talking about flat out, I'm trying to keep it PG-13 if you know what I mean. I'm going to say this with cojones. I think that's a good word you can use. I don't think that's a bad word. He had a lot of cojones, man. Whoever gave Jerry Jones that question there. And Jerry Jones like, huh? Say what? But my thing is, they counted Ezekiel Elliott as a no-show. It's up to their discretion whether or not they will suspend Ezekiel Elliott, or not suspend, fine Ezekiel Elliott. I think somebody put down that there's like $40,000 that you can find, up to $40,000 that you can find somebody. Appreciate those that's on my Facebook panel and those who watch from Cowboys Experience. As you guys can see, book your package today. Just call just dial 1 and then 817-888-1726, cowboysexperience.com. You can go to that website to get tickets and pricings and front row seats and stuff like that, man, to the games. But Cowboy Nation, I have to say this, man. Ezekiel Elliott, I don't know who's giving him advice, but I want to say this, and it could be his agent. Just stop it. Bring Ezekiel Elliott to the camp. Just show up. Just walk around with your fish hat on. And you can give a statement saying that, hey, I'm not going to practice until I feel like, I have a legitimate deal out there. I think I outplayed my original contract. I think Odell Beckham did it before. I think that they paid him before his time was up, and then they went on ahead and they shipped him off. I think that Todd Gurley, he started his trend with the running backs. They paid him earlier. It was no sign of Todd Gurley holding out. It's just the Rams said, hey, we're going to go ahead and pay you early. And if you look at it, if you really think about it, Cowboy Nation, the Eagles paid Carson Wentz early. They didn't have to pay him this soon. They paid him 2 years before his contract is up. So this is a copycat league. It could be also the brilliancy of these people paying the guys early because of the salary cap is about to change. We know that the salary cap been increasing, and you want to go ahead and lock in a player at the lower rate before you demand, before they demand even more money. So I really appreciate you, Junebug. Thank you for making the donation to help grow the nation. There was somebody else that made a donation to help grow the nation. I really appreciate you all, man. Shout out to you all that making those donations to help grow this thing. Buck Bureau, Big Simple, 422. Appreciate you, Cowboys for life. Thank you all for supporting this channel, man. Thank you guys for helping me financially. So I will be out there tomorrow at Oxnard. We will be there live like 95. My guy Big Game James should be there, as well as Shango. You guys know who Shango is. I don't have to explain. Just type in Shango and you'll see his videos all over YouTube. And we're going to talk about this. We're going to be trying to get some more details out to you all, especially as it relates to this team. My thing is, can his team win without Ezekiel Elliott? I don't think that that's going to be the case nor the scenario. Remember earlier I was talking about Aaron Donald went through this same situation before. I don't see that this situation is going to be as nasty as Le'Veon Bell, right? Holding out and then didn't want to sign what kind of contract was it for him? I think they franchise tagged Le'Veon and he didn't want to sign it. He was like, I don't want this money. I think he ultimately turned away $50 million. I don't know about you all, but you'll never see Law Nation turning away $50 million. Man, that's crazy. And shout out to the reporter who asked Jerry Jones and everybody, hey, how do you guys feel about the Tyreek Hill situation? And they did the wise deal and said, you know what, no comment. Because what I'm believing that Roger Goodell, he's going to look at all these things. Look, everybody's eyes is on the Cowboys. You know, look, for those who out there who tuning into this show, who won the Super Bowl last year? You see, people got to stay, who won the Super Bowl? It was the Patriots. And then on top of that, how many news stories do you hear about the Patriots, the Super Bowl champions? You don't hear nothing. You don't hear no noise coming out of the Patriot land. You don't hear no noise of Gronkowski when he retired. You don't hear no noise of saying, hey, possibly, can they make a repeat? Do you hear no noise about the Patriots? They the Super Bowl champs, for crying out loud. We don't hear no noise of them. Look, I don't even think they have the first game of the season this year. Can you imagine if the Cowboys won the Super Bowl? Do you think that they're going to hold off on not giving us the first game of the season? Never. It's crazy. Yeah, shout out to Botch too, man. He's one of the guys that's going to be, I don't know if he's going to be in Oxnard. If he is, it's going to be a surprise to me. He haven't said anything that he's going to be out there. But if he's out there in Oxnard, shout out to my guy, Botch Lombardi with the party, and Akuye. I call him Akuye. Robert Kraft is in hot water. Yeah, nobody, look, the whole Robert Kraft. Remember, I said off season. And I know I'm live on my sponsors page, but I have to say this. I said all off season, right? That by the time football season starts, you won't even hear a word. I'm talking about a word of the Robert Kraft situation. Did you guys see how they politely swept everything under the rug? I can't make this stuff up. But let that been Ezekiel Elliott, that would have happened with Robert Kraft. Or let that been Randy Gregory. Let that been Jerry Jones, you know. You see? But that's a story of a different day, guys. You guys see how this thing go. I'm going to let you guys go because I know I took up half of your time here already. I really appreciate you all. Thank you all. This was all done live through my cell phone. I had to go run and grab a cell phone charger here. I had to go run and grab a cell phone charger there. People are calling me, so I got to make sure that they are okay. So I got to call them back and make sure everything is in the right direction. Speaking of direction, that's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go. We out. Peace.